that to me so I can
I told I
post
like that chain too.
Hey, the chain, the bling, the bling. And guess what?
Let's
All right.
go.
Let's get it. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. It is your favorite podcast team. It's your power team, and we are definitely in the building. So, hello, and hello.
Hello.
We have a really great show lined up for you guys tonight, as usual. We have a lot of great topics that we're going to get into. So we are so excited about these topics. Something, y'all. First thing I was thinking about as well. We brought in Black History Month. You know, um, there's been a lot of great things going on that we haven't even actually had time to touch on and celebrate. I guess we will get into some of those things a little bit later. Hey Kim, how you doing? I love it when they chime in, y'all. They
Abs-
be ready for us, so we be ready
Absolutely.
for them. If this is your first time watching and rocking with us, we would like to go ahead and introduce ourselves. I go by the name of Kesha Kesh.
and I'm your boy King Leo Untamed. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I am your girl J Money.
And this your boy, Dr. Real, Mr. Motivational. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Well, I tell y'all what. Um, this is for the people that's listening in. I definitely want you guys to stay here listening. Why? Because we got some good stuff coming up, and I have an anonymous caller that we're gonna speak to in a little bit here. I'm gonna first off, we're gonna let King Leo get started with his first topic, but I actually seen some things going on this morning, and I was like, wow, this was a very interesting topic. But again, that person will remain anonymous unless that person wants to go public, because I will be tagging that person in a second. um this guy was really talking about how hard it is to date modern women, and I want to hear a little bit more about it. So I'll be hitting him up shortly, seeing if it's a good time to go ahead and have him to elaborate on that a little bit more. So, ladies, fellas, if you're here, stay tuned, because I think that we all can actually chime into that. But without further ado, we will go ahead and get into our first topic with Mr. King Leo. What do you got?
Yo, yo, yo. So tonight we're gonna talk about, can you date or be with someone who does not have the same religious beliefs or does not believe in religion? Can you date someone or be with someone who is like that? Now, first, I'm gonna start off with my own outlook on this situation. Okay, I believe that I believe that I would be able to date someone, whatever religious belief they is. I feel like as long as they are a good person, because just because they believe in whoever they believe in does not make them a good person. You got people doing crazy things, believing in whoever they believe in. So I feel like, me personally, I could date someone if they were, Muslim, Buddhist, Judas, Christian, whatever the case may be. Same as if they didn't believe in whatever, because the same way go the same thing. Just because they don't believe in religion does not make that person a bad person. Because all folks in the church, all folks in the mosque, all folks sitting in there with their hands crossed ain't, let's just say, they ain't good people. And we see it almost every day in society. Now, I'm not sitting up here trying to bash, religion or anyone's beliefs like that, but I want to know, can you date someone who does not have the same religious beliefs in you if they are a good man or a good woman?
I would like to chime in on that
Go ahead.
Okay,
because
chime on in.
according to the word, a house that divided will not stand. So that means, according to the word, you can't be serving this God and she's serving this God. You gotta serve one God or it won't stand. You gotta read the word. It says it in the Bible, big as day. I mean, it does not mean that that person is not a good person and their beliefs are not their beliefs, but you guys together have to come into one common ground of what y'all gonna serve. Because if they serving this and you're serving that, there's gonna be conflict. But it says
So
in
I
the word.
so I wanna counter that. Can I counter that real quick? I'm gonna counter that.
Yes.
So if a person that is serving the same come in and he might treat you like boo boo at the end of the day, but he a man of God,
Mm.
whatever the case may be. But he might treat you like trash, and then next thing you know, you got a man that I'm not really, in the church like that. You know what I'm saying? I believe in God or whatever the case may be, but I'm not really in the church. I don't really believe in religion of the sort. But I do believe in God. I do believe in a higher power. He comes along, he treats you like you the best thing in the world. You're not gonna want to be with that man because he don't believe in religion. That what you saying?
No, but you can continue to pray for that man to God changes his heart or changes his mindset. Prayer works.
But see,
Yes,
let's look at this.
prayer works.
I want to bring up another point because you got people out here that are they woke, they woke, and people with different terms. And they some people they got their own beliefs on religion,
Hmm.
but they're willing to put that to the side because they want you and they want you to be happy. Now they might be like, oh, this is what I believe. I don't know if I'm able to change that. This is me. It's either you're gonna love me for me, and I'm gonna love you for you, or whatever the case may be. So would you be able to be with a man who said, okay, I want to love you and I want to be with you? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm be able to, get down with the get down.
I don't know. I don't feel like it'll be hard, but I feel like it will be a conflict because if I have these beliefs, I'm going to believe that at some point you're going to have these beliefs or not. You're not going to understand my walk. You're not going to understand my talk. So we're going to be doing like this every time. You're going your way and I'm going
But
mine.
see, the thing is, he might
Same
believe
thing.
in your walk and your talk. He just don't believe in religion.
Well,
He a
you say
good,
you don't
he,
believe in
he's
my
a good
walk
man.
because I believe in religion. So he don't believe in my talk or my walk because
I,
I
but,
believe in
but,
religion.
but he believe in some of your talk and some of your walk. He just don't believe in the religion.
Dr. Real, what
But
you
see,
have to say about
and they,
this?
he head
Okay,
of the household for sure. He
exactly.
want to be the head of the household. He want to take care of everybody, make sure the family is straight. But just because he don't believe in religion, that means he can't do it.
But let me share something with y'all.
Okay.
I told you my husband was, deacon and Christian before he passed away. But he walked to the Lord and gave his life to Christ before I did. I used to come in the house, coming from the after hour, he's getting ready to go to church. But guess what he said? I'm not gonna make you, I'm not gonna beg you, and I'm not gonna ask you to go to church. At some point, you're gonna walk in there on your own. And I did. But for the longest, I used to say, you ain't going to church for God, you going to church to see some female. I said the B word though. I said, you going there for some female.
Lord.
How all of a sudden you don't
Oh
change
my
your life
Lord.
over to Christ and we both out here and we're doing worldly things. But all along he was really giving his life to Christ. And then I went to church just to see, oh no, I'm going to church just to see what you doing. I know you in there with some female. Ask Kesha. I'm going just to see what you in there doing. You ain't going to church for God. And there it go. Look at me. However he got me there,
Well,
he got me there. But I thought that's what you going to church for.
I mean, my perspective on it is about disrespect. It's just so different if I was a staunch conservative and my wife was a staunch liberal, which are very two vast spectrums of the thing.
Hmm.
We'll have to come to a happy compromise because if
We have
you're that entrenched in your values and I'm entrenched in mine, we can't be going to war over our respective values.
to.
If you happen to rock with being a Buddhist and I'm a Christian, there is some commonalities there in those two religions. But see, it's not about religion because religion is the cause of most wars and hatred in this world. Is people's religious mindset.
Beliefs. Yep.
So it's not really shouldn't be about that. If both of y'all are entrenched in some kind of values that are good, then you should be able to have a healthy discussion about that versus making an argument. Have a healthy
Absolutely.
discussion and understanding of those two things instead of making it an issue. Make it a blessing.
It's a
Yes.
respect thing.
Absolutely.
It's a respect
Absolutely.
thing. I respect you and your beliefs. You respect me and mine. Hey, we should be good to go. You know, and that's I agree with that wholeheartedly. I really do
But
because
you
I
have
feel
to
like
be
as long
equally
as you can,
yoked.
but see, you can be. I feel like you can be
You're
equally,
supposed to
you know.
be according to the word.
You
I
know,
want to read
I'm
the comments. Um, Carlos Johnson, and it has nothing to do with feelings, but rather what God says. But be not you equally yoked. Why
Yep.
are you
See.
going?
Yep.
Why are you going to compromise your religious beliefs for an individual? This is why you seek God when dating and marrying.
That's true. That is
Um,
so true, Carlos.
well. You know
and
what?
That's
I
If
ain't
that
gonna
true.
make fun.
if I went by that mindset, I wouldn't be with my wife right now.
That's true.
I was just about to say, go ahead, Doc, go ahead,
I'm gonna
Real.
be 100. I'm gonna be 100 with you. Cause when I came, my wife comes from a very religious background. Baby, I hope you don't mind me spilling a little bit of the nest tea real quick. But um,
Come on, Doctor
she
Real.
she came
Sure.
she came from a very religious background to where I came from a hood where there was a church on every block, and I never stepped foot in not one of them. But my
Mm.
grandmother taught me the word from the front to the back, so I knew the word better than some people who go to church every day.
Hmm.
But I didn't feel I needed to be in a brick and mortar place to be a child of God. That was my mindset. You know,
Mhm.
because they said, well, Bible says there's more than two in the same in the words you are in church right now. So we had a big divide about she wanted to go to church and I wasn't going. But I'm like your husband said, J Money, God will find you when it's time for you to be there.
That's right.
I believe that. If you go in there if I was going there just for her, I'm in there for the wrong reasons. I had to be there for myself. And eventually I got there. You know, but she believed enough in me. She didn't compromise herself. She was still doing what she needed to do. She wasn't compromising herself. But I wasn't gonna hold her back from what she was used to, and I wasn't gonna let her force me into being into something that I wasn't used to.
I
And I
respect
told her, well, God will eventually get me there when it's time for me to be there. And we all got baptized in 2013, the whole family.
And
So
that's
you don't have to compromise nothing. You just have to understand and respect. There's a whole different ball game between compromise and respect.
and that's
So
so
two
crazy,
things
Dr.
I want
Real,
to chime
because
in
that
on,
actually
Doctor Real.
happened with us. That's what happened with us. When
It
we
says
got
with your
baptized, it was me and my husband and my kids. And guess what the pastor said? This brother been coming to this church all this time, and I never knew he had a wife and kids. The day we
it.
got baptized, this brother been coming here all this time. He said, I never knew this brother had a wife and two kids. He said, now I'm baptizing the whole family. Because we were still doing worldly things while he was going to church. But he said, I'm not gonna pressure you or tell you. You'll come in there. And when God
But
ready for you, you'll know.
let's clarify something, because some of the things I'm reading here on the live kind of makes it seem as if we're talking about two different things, and we kind of are. Just thinking about the way that King Leo gave me the topic that he was going to discuss, because it's kind of like, are we discussing a person that does not have any type of religion at all, or is it that they're on two different, meaning you serve someone and this person serves someone else? I think that's
Mhm.
important to clarify as well, because some of the things on the comments here to you, Dr. Real, one person said, but you and your wife, y'all still have the same belief. Someone else said, but your wife was mature enough to allow her lifestyle to lead you.
Mhm.
So, are we talking about in this situation having two different types of beliefs, or are we talking about one person don't have any belief at all and the other do? Like,
So
what is it that we're
Yes.
talking
so
about?
it's a
Yes.
little bit of
Clarify that.
it's both. It's
Uh-huh.
both. It's both. It's with and without. Either same, not the same, or they don't believe. The song. It's one song. I can't remember the saying by Jay Z. What's a king to a god? What's a god to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer? And um, that all kind of plays a part because you got some people, like I said before, you got some people who are woke and they don't believe in none of their religion stuff. Okay, they believe in certain things. Religion was given us by the white man. What did we believe in before we got shipped over to America? So
You know,
that's why I say it's a lot of different things out here that plays a part into this when you're in the dating world. Some people say I'm not gonna date that. I'm not gonna date that type of person. That's fine, and that's fine. You have your personal preference, but are you going to skip over? Are you going to skip over a good man or a good woman because you feel that is gonna be conflict because they don't believe in the same religion as you do. Because that man or woman might be the a perfect fit for you, and you skipped over them because they don't believe in the same or they don't believe in religion. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that
But at
makes
the
it
same time,
that makes it
but
not a perfect
huh?
because perfect. Well, to me, that makes it not a perfect fit. You're saying that'll be a perfect fit for someone, but it define
Mm-mm.
perfect because what dating? I'll say this, and this is
Well,
my intake on it.
well, I
Dating,
wanted you wanna. Can I clear one thing up, Kesha? Nothing's perfect. Nothing is
right?
perfect. Okay, nothing is perfect. It's all about it's all about that individual, how mature they are, and how determined they are to have if they want that person in their life. That's kind of what it all boils down to. You
Okay,
know?
so let me say this: dating is different from married, being married,
Right.
and having a family, and sharing finances, and sharing a lot of different things. So, of course, in the dating stages, you are getting to know someone. So, I can agree to say, based on what you're speaking about, that's okay to figure out, like, okay, do we both have some type of belief and try to figure out the direction we're going? But when you talk about being married to someone and having a family, now you have to dictate what my household look like. Because if you don't have any type of belief or religion and our stuff is just not matching, when it's time for me and the kids to say grace, or when it's time for me and the kids to pray, like what does that look like for me to explain, or the vice versa, whomever, to explain to the kids, well, dad or mom, they're not going to be in here with us because they don't do what we do. Why we're going to have to continue to explain two different things to our kids. So who beliefs will the kids follow?
And that's
The
crazy
kids,
because I have a
I
family
believe,
member who's like that right now. She is a Christian and he's a Muslim, and he's been
and
a
I feel
Muslim
like,
his whole life.
this when it comes to that. I feel like you shouldn't push religion on the kids like that. They should decide on their own. You shouldn't push a religion because I grew up in the church. I'm gonna be honest with you. My mom took me to church almost every Sunday. And now I'm on the other side of things where I believe in the higher spirit, God in such a higher deity. I believe in that, but I don't believe in religion. If that makes
No,
sense.
it makes sense. And what I'm
And
saying is
and all at the same time, I mean, I see what Carlos is saying. I see what Carlos is saying. You know, is he said the Bible is not the white man religion. The Bible came from the white man religion. Okay, King James and all of that stuff. But that's a little deeper. I can go deeper with you on the side because I've done a little bit of research. But what I'm saying is what I'm trying to get across to people is that someone, and I got it because it don't work. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody. But what I'm saying is do not skip over a person or be so close minded to the point that you skip over a person just because their religion or something is different than yours. That's all I'm saying. Because like I say, you got every day you got these people going in these church houses being holy, 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 and they out here doing dirty, dirty, dirty. So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
2 hour Christian, 2 hour Christians.
That's
They
But
there.
listen,
true.
to the commenter that said about my wife's maturity, I think was way less than her maturation, but it was more so for her appreciation for me,
Mm.
that she didn't try to put something where something wasn't going to fit at that time. It wasn't about her being mature about it. It's been no different if it was the other way around. I wouldn't try to drag her to church because she wouldn't have been getting fed from it. You've been there for me and being resentful for sitting there for that amount of time. So you wouldn't have been getting any kind of nourishment at all. So why would I subject you to that? When you
Mm.
want to come around to it, you will, because that is your choice. I can't make you bow at the altar. No one can do that. When God touches your soul or your spirit, and he
Mm-hmm.
start talking to you and tell you it's your time to get there, you
Absolutely.
will get there. There's people who've been sitting in church
Yeah.
pews for years that when the altar call comes, finally it just resonates and they get up and walk to the altar. They've been sitting in that church pew for years. So it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter about the maturation of your spouse. That has nothing to do with it. It's the fact they appreciate and respect you enough to say, here's what it is. And when you are ready, Not when we're ready, but when you're ready,
You are ready.
we'll be here for you.
That's right. That's what
So
happened with
just
me.
to kind of sum up what we were talking about, King Leo, because we're talking about a dating stage, and then we're talking about a household. My point is that again, I don't think it's a force upon the kids or anything. My question is more so of what does it look like? Meaning that this person is doing something totally different, and we are the leaders of the household. The head, you have the husband, you have the wife, you have the kids. Is not forcing the belief up on them. They are free to choose their own. But what I can say, it will be visible as the house being divided, if that is the
Absolutely.
situation. And I'm asking, like, how do you fix that? How do you make it better when everybody, if we're going to allow it to be so different? I'm not saying
I
miss
feel
out on your blessing or miss out on your husband, but that's where
I
you
feel like
decide whether you can do it.
the house will only be divided if you allow it to be divided.
Well,
That's how I
like
feel.
I stated, my cousin is a Christian and her husband is a Muslim, and she takes her kids to church with her. He doesn't take them with him.
But I
So
mean, if
I
if
don't
it
know
works
how
for their but if it
that's,
works for their household, then it works for their household. Is
and
their
they've
house
been
is
married
divided?
for
Their
19
house
years.
their house
Hmm.
divides where you allow it to divide. I
So
mean,
let me ask
that's
you this one question, because you brought up a good point. So if we're in a household and we're cooking, and someone believes that we should not eat a certain type of food based on, like,
You don't eat pork.
though, I guess those are kind of the, he don't eat. Okay, so if a person believes that the man is the head of the household, right? Even though he's the man, we're partners. However, you're saying unless we allow it to be divided, what determines what can be divided? Because to me,
that's
it just seems
that's
like stuff is
dependent.
going
That is
to always
dependent
come up.
upon the two individuals and how they could be able to compromise and talk about things. It is dependent upon them. If one is saying, "Oh, we don't eat pork," okay, you don't eat pork. I'ma still eat me some pork, but you don't eat pork. I'm not gonna force you to not eat pork. I'm not gonna force you to eat pork.
And
If
that's
our kids
true.
if our kids want some pork, then it's on them. We're not going to force them. We're not going to force. You shouldn't force your beliefs on the kid. Let the kids
Okay,
get
so
up
you're
and decide.
saying
Hey, this is
Because if
what
you
I
go
feel
to
like
their
I should do.
barbecue, if they have a barbecue, he have meat for her, and then he have meat for him, and then he'll say, "Hey, if you don't eat pork, this is the meat over here. But if you eat pork, it's over. You the pork is over here." And it's
Now,
every time we go to the barbecue.
when you start forcing, that's when you start causing division. When you start
Hmm.
forcing and not talking, that's when the division start to come in. I mean, that's simple. I can put it. When you start forcing, that's when the division start to come in. When you say when the parents start forcing each other, start clashing on certain things and not being able to compromise, that's when the division come in. Like we said, the pork example was a perfect example. The pork is over here. You want some pork? Get you some pork. The non pork meals is over here. You don't want no pork? Go get you that meal. And that's how J Money. That is how your Muslim friend and Christian friend have been together for 18 years.
Yeah, that's my
Compromise,
cousin
like
and her
Dr. Real
husband.
said.
Hmm.
Like Dr. Real
we're
said,
gonna have
compromise.
one
Hmm.
speaker. I
But
And
know
I
on
feel
that.
like I'm out here dating, and if I feel like I'm looking for a certain type of man, it's about what you're looking for. It's not that you're saying, "Hey, you're a good dude," just because you're not
So what
serving the
I
Lord,
do
I'm
is,
not going to be with
and that's
you.
something
It's
else
this.
I
It
introduce
depends
you
on that. It
to.
depends on that person and what they're looking for.
I don't know if
If I'm
you're
looking
right,
for a good dude, I'm looking for a good dude who goes to church.
you get
It's
more
all
than
about who you're looking for. If you looking for somebody and you say, "Hey, I'm dating," or you single, yes, and then y'all meet and they say, "Oh, do you go to church?" No, I'm believing God.
so if you
See,
go
that's
out there
not
and
what
check,
I'm looking for. So then that'll be a turnoff for me. So it's all about what you're looking for when you're dating. So
gotcha.
that way you don't have to say you're divided or you found a man that's good that he might not believe in religion, so now you don't want him. You don't even set yourself up for that. Because me
Right.
personally, I just talked about me. I cannot date a man who don't go to church.
it's on your page. I dropped it on your
I,
page
I
right
just
now.
look for that. I didn't say he had to be in church every day, all day, but he got to some point serve the Lord. Do you? I'm asking first thing. Do you pray? He said, "No, I don't pray to nobody." Yeah, that's turn off. I just delete his number. I delete his number.
I
I'm
got
just
you.
being real with you. I just
I
delete
got,
his number.
but can I say something? Can I say something to J Money? Can I say
Hmm.
something? That same
Absolutely.
person, that same person you talking about. No, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
No, he could be that good dude. He could be that dude that
Stop.
I could get married and
I'm
live a
just.
life
I'm
with.
gonna
But
stop.
that right there is causing me not to move forward. I'm just
I
gonna be
got you.
real with you.
It's a. It's a
I'm
deal
be
breaker.
real. It's a
I got
deal.
you.
You have
It's
each
a deal
have a
breaker.
deal breaker. But if somebody
Well,
I don't pray, I don't
they'll be
love
able to
God, I
hear
don't want to have
you.
nothing. I'm like,
Everything else will be
nope,
able to hear
nope.
them. But
That's
I
a
just
red
wanted to
flag for me.
hear your voice.
We
So
got at some point go to church together, or at least sit down and pray. Can we
so
sit
you can
down and
talk
pray
about it.
together? No, so no, we can't. This ain't gonna work.
I want to. Carlos said King Leo is division is already there when there are differences in that area. I mean,
Hmm.
this is we're not talking about a Chiefs fan and a Bucks fan, okay? Because you got like matter of fact, we can talk about that. You got a Chief fan and a Bucks fan in the household. The man a Chiefs fan, the woman a Bucks fan, but they can still sit down, have fun together, and do whatever together, and still be serving the separate teams.
So King
King Leo, that's
Leo,
that's why I
when
brought up the conservative.
I said that too because I said, Lord, my next husband, can he be a Dallas Cowboy fan? Because this not gonna work if he not.
You
No,
searching
that's
for a
that's
Dallas
why I brought up
Cowboy.
the conservative and the liberal part of it.
Yeah,
Because if
right.
you're a
And
true believer in conservative and true believer in liberal politics and issues in politics, that's a divisive household for real, especially in
Hmm.
this day and age. If
Hmm.
they can survive that, then a person who worships Allah and someone who worships Jesus can survive in the same household as well.
because
Hmm.
we all know how politics can get. Come on
Hmm.
now. We all know how politics get.
Right.
You got people riding at the Capitol over politics.
Mm.
So if you can survive something like liberal and conservative difference and stuff like that, trust me, if you can survive. I'm telling you. But hey, that was just one of the topics. I
I
think we
like
all
that
got some good
topic.
stuff out there. You know,
Yes, we
I just,
did. We
I
got
just
some
wanted to
very
That
good
kind of
was
stuff
a
out
really
of
good
it.
topic.
I
That
just
was a
wanted to
really
kind of enlighten
good
people.
topic.
Kind of
I just
enlighten
want to
people.
say this really quick. Why I have Anonymous on the line. That's what you guys saw me doing. I'm sorry. It looked like I was distracted. I really wasn't. I was trying to pull him in. If you're tuning in late, I just want you to get caught up to speed. I have Anonymous on the phone here. Hopefully, y'all will be able to hear him through speaker because he's going to elaborate a little bit more on some of the stuff that was going on this morning. And what Anonymous was speaking about was he was talking about how hard it is to date modern women. And it was a lot of women. I've checked again, and he has like over 200 and some odd comments in reference of this because some people felt some kind of way about it. But I think he does at least deserve the opportunity to express exactly what it is that he meant by that and also share with us a little bit about maybe it's something personal that he actually experienced. So if you guys are tuning in, that is what this next segment right here will be about. I have him on the line right now and I will go ahead and let Anonymous speak on it. Are you ready, Anonymous?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Are you all able to hear him?
Put it up to the mic.
It is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
They can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, well, basically, I came to this conclusion that especially in the black community, I feel we actually have a something that I kind of saw coming about 20 years ago, and I saw an influx of our women actually going off to college, and I saw a influx of black women into the workforce, etc. And I said, I think it was actually, I feel like what's going to happen. We're going to have women in their early 30s, mid 30s, 40s, 50s, and single. Then I started actually realizing what it is that, and we didn't realize what we was actually doing. Men, we are valued on what we can actually contribute. So we are providers, we're protectors. In this particular environment, providing is actually based off of what you can provide financially. In essence, what we did is with men, when we go out and say about going out and hustling and get the bag, we're really getting the bag to be providers for a family. So in the aspect of what a woman actually does it, it's fine, but men don't care. Rich men marry broke women all day. Women don't do the same thing. So basically, what is actually happening, women isn't creating the environment where they're actually creating the pool where nobody wants to date them. So they're coming to basically the dating market with their accolades as far as their degrees, how much money they make. But at the end of the day, no man really cares. Any man is out here doing it on his own, he doesn't really care as long as she's able to provide for herself. Primarily, what men are looking for is women to be more feminine, and the women are losing that touch with the being feminine, and they're keeping their dainty ways and actually by, I would say, taking on the things that they want to see in the dating market. In essence, they're becoming what they want to date, but that's not what men want. The men, in essence, we want our women to be fit, feminine, to be cooperative with us, supportive. We want our women to be a woman. And it's fine. Hey, go out, grab, get the bag, do that. But that's not a plus in our books. We just don't care, and then we never will. And until women actually understand that and understand one other thing is that you getting your degrees, you did better actually going to the gym. You did better actually watching your weight. You did better actually being feminine. That would make you in a better market. If you actually want to act right for men, you want to get wifed up, you want to get a ring on your finger, that's how you do it. You do not go about it by saying, hey, this is what I've accomplished in my life. This how many degrees I actually got. Because at the end of the day, most households, or I would say majority of households, are actually still the man is the breadwinner. And we know we have a lot of households where the women actually lead to. But the other aspect about that we did forget about is this. Just by we men is just by nature we have a certain role, and we don't feel like in some of those roles it's maybe kind of getting gray. So in this new climate, I would say for women who are out there who actually makes great money, if you're trying to actually be in the dating market, please do not talk about your acting. Do not talk about your degrees. No man gives a shit.
Uh,
We just don't.
So
okay.
I need to chime in on
Child.
that.
Now listen,
Wait
wait
a
a minute.
minute.
I saved you today. I don't know if I'm able to save you right now, anonymous. If you are able to go in and look at the live, there's some comments on here for you, and there's a lot of comments from fellas as well. They're asking a couple of questions, so therefore, I guess it's fair to say a lot of them don't agree with you, but they actually I'm sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, a lot of the fellas on here, they're not really agreeing with you right now.
Wow.
Some some aren't. But I want to ask a question of you. I mean, I could have tagged
Mm.
you in if you wanted, but I didn't want to, you know, just drag you in last minute. But I really appreciate you sharing that because we need to hear these things, the thought process and the mindset of certain people.
No.
And in order
No, we
for us
don't.
to hear these things
No, we
and get it out here in the universe and address it, we don't know if it's not heard. So, are you able to chime in at the and look into the live? We got
Oh,
some.
absolutely.
Are
I
you
just
looking
have
at
a
it?
And
question for Anonymous.
They have a lot
this
of
a whole nother
questions.
show.
So,
Yeah, this a whole nother
let me.
show.
Man, my
Well,
name
okay,
Bennett
guys,
and I ain't in it.
give me one
Cause I don't give
second.
a damn who the breadwinner. As long as we bread eating, I don't give a damn who the breadwinner is.
That part.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your intake on this, and we're gonna go ahead and chime in, and we'll now that you gave us a better understanding and we know exactly what it is that you're talking about, we'll chime in.
CJ Wild. CJ
Hell
Wild.
no.
CJ said putty
So
97 years
why?
old.
So listen, yeah, so again there was a lot going on today, and I jumped in and I kind of tried to help out, but I really think that what he was talking about needed to be discussed because there were so many women on there attacking him, and I didn't there were not a lot of guys there to share their insight on it. But did you guys on the live, did you get to hear him very well? Because I hear a lot of people saying hell no and hell no
Heck,
and
I ain't even gonna lie. I
I
couldn't hear
heard
him.
everything, and now
I couldn't hear him.
that's ridiculous
It's like an
thinking. I
analog
mean,
person that's stuck in a digital world. That's what it sounds like to me.
it sounds like a old man still living in the 40s and the 50s. We're in
That's what I'm saying. An
2021.
analog person in a digital world. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like somebody still with an 8 track trying to stream.
Somebody on that Turntable.
Yeah, you can't mix old school values with new school living.
You
That's not going
cannot.
to work.
So what y'all
You just
saying
can't
is,
do it,
so what
You
y'all saying is,
cannot.
we on PlayStation 5, but he's still on Atari.
Yes.
bruh.
Because this
That
brother
boy, I'm on the
said,
Commodore 64,
quote
bruh.
unquote, he said, quote unquote, women that with degrees, men don't
Shit,
want
the
that.
hell.
He said they don't want no woman making good money and degrees. Y'all need to be working out and watching your weight and being more feminine. What do they got to do with anything?
The only
Like
But
in
thing,
the
J Money, it's so
street.
much deeper. It's so much deeper than that. He's
It's
coming from
got
a
to
very
be.
historical complex.
He
This
is.
thing been changing since
He
the
is.
'70s when the families got broken down. When
Yes.
Uncle Sam came in, especially when you don't see the black family, when the black families got broken
Yes.
down and separated, when all that went down, of course, women had to go out and get it because they were left with the kids and man had to get out of the house. So, of course, that's going
Absolutely.
to change the dynamics. And a lot of the women coming up in the generations that watch their mamas and aunties struggle to make it, of course, their mindset changed. And, of course,
Absolutely.
they got it to where I'm going to get my own money and have my own thing. So, can't no man tell me what to do because I told my daughter the same thing. Always have yours. Y'all
That's
can
right.
unite together, but baby, always have yours. Every auntie taught they nieces that have a rainy day fund. Ain't a woman I don't know that don't have a rainy day fund, even they with somebody or not.
So I feel like
So I don't
that
know.
might be the women that he's dealing with because a lot of men like a woman who's on her chasing a bag, who's out there getting hers. He don't want no woman sitting at home waiting on him to come out in with the bag every day. It's two bags of better than one any day. Well, I don't know what planet he living on because no
the
man
one,
don't want no woman sitting at home and he's saying, "Oh, you don't need no degrees. You don't need to go work and be in the corporate world. You need to sit here and wait on me to bring." We don't live like that these days. We
the
don't live
one
Some
like
thing,
men
that.
like being an ATM machine.
the one thing I could say, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't hear a lot of it. I'm already hard of hearing as per military times. But the one thing I can say that I do agree him on is the back in touch with their feminist part. You know what I'm
But
saying?
are
'Cause
we speaking for every woman? Are we speaking for majority, half of women?
I'm
What are
just
we
saying,
speaking
'cause
for?
some of these women do out here be saying they do be a little manly sometimes, and I just
See,
Nowadays I see more women getting their bodies done and getting in shape and going to pay all this money to get all these butts and the hips and to get more feminine. So
and you ain't
what
even got to do all of
bracket are
that. Just
you?
get the
But I'm
gym,
saying, but what bracket is he talking about? I see that more than I see a masculine woman these days.
King
I see
Legal,
more
what,
women with everything else.
bruh? What's going on is women are now they're not being men. Women just stepping up to doing things that they're used to seeing men do, and a lot of these men can't handle it. It's not about they losing their femininity. If they just saying,
Mm-mm.
"Hey, you want to smash? Okay, we can do that. I'm gonna smash, and then
I'm
I'm
down
gonna
with
tell your
that
ass keep
though.
it moving."
But see, I'm
And
down
then
with
now
that
you
though.
Eddie Murphy, and now you Eddie Murphy and Boomerang Kurt with the damn
Absolutely.
sheet up
I
like
can do
this
that.
because your
Absolutely.
feelings hurt. Yeah,
Because
you
they feel
can,
it's
but a
hurt.
lot of men can't deal with that.
Because they feel
I
it's
can
hurt,
deal
But
Dr.
with hot
breaking
Hill.
dog
the
in the hallway.
and so the problem King Leo was throwing the hot dogs down the hallway. The women are catching them now, and I think that
That's
is
it.
a little bit of a ego thing possibly because they ain't dodging and ducking from the hot dogs. They catching them,
That's
and
right.
They
That's
can catch
right.
them
See,
all day for me, baby. Now let me stop.
the
Oh
female no
yeah, he
longer
catching
sad
them.
because you moving around. They moving around
Yeah,
too, and a lot of dudes like, damn, what's up
absolutely.
with that?
And see,
So
I'm,
it's just
I'm
the
Absolutely.
cool with
boomerang
all of that.
effect.
Now,
It's
see, now
absolutely.
when I say when I'm saying feminine part, I'm just saying we're getting a little bit more so. You know what I'm saying? Dressing up as they switch to the other side. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
So
And then
I'm not.
it's so many men that feel that way because it used to be where the woman would call you sweating you, calling your phone every 5 minutes. Now the men are doing it. So is that on us? No, it's not on us. That's on you. If you want to act that way, that's on you. So that means the men are stop being more masculine. Now they're being more feminine. That's how I look at it. They stop acting like bitches and man up.
The game doesn't change, player. The
Man
game
up.
has
Do you want to feel
changed.
like
I
that?
just
Man up.
I just saying I be hurt when I go down the street and I see a pretty woman and she dressed like me, and I be like, damn. That's the part I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Well,
talking about.
that's a different level, but that's
you
not what
say
that
dress
brother
like
was
you,
talking
King
about.
Leo.
They be dressed like me. They be dressing clean too. I be like, dang, they got no clean ass shoes on. Boy, I'm a woman. What?
Shout out to
But
my
that's
cousin who's on here.
not
Let me
what that
read
man
this
was
really
talking
quick.
about.
He said, I can
I,
give a damn about the the gym. I love that money my wife makes because one day I'm gonna get that bass boat. You know, so
Bass boat.
she she lovely. She's lovely without that. Don't get me started. Go on, cuz you
Hey,
know.
I'm
Gone,
with. Hey,
cousin.
I'm with Reggie. I'm with
Get you a
Reggie
woman
over
who's
there.
out here chasing the bag, just like you're chasing the bag. You don't want a woman sitting at home, oh, just because she needs to be. I could be feminine and still be out here chasing the bag. Where we come together we eat together. You bring the table, I bring the chairs. You bring the plates, I bring the forks and the spoon. I don't want to be sitting in no house waiting on no man to bring nothing for me. So that makes
Exactly.
me not
Man,
feminine,
yeah.
and I get my hair and nails done, and everything. But I ain't waiting on no man. Because at the end of
Like
the
my
day,
boy
if
CJ
he
said.
jump up and run out that door, I'm gonna be hurt because I ain't got nothing to fall on. No, we
Perpetuate
live in
stereotypes and traditional roles.
we in
Like my
Gotta
boy
stop it.
2021.
CJ said. My boy CJ said, match my hustle, and I'm the
That
same way.
that
Man,
part, CJ.
she
That
gotta match
part.
my motherfucking hustle,
That
goddamn.
part,
If I'm
CJ.
out here in
You
these streets,
gotta understand as a woman. I'm glad you guys are talking about it because unlike I think there's a lot of women that's confused out here because it's not a forced thing. And I chimed in on that topic this morning as well. And my thought process was when they were going back and forth about that. I don't think women are choosing to do this, but if you're in a situation and you're there by yourself and hell, the trash got to be took out, who gonna take it out? So I don't know if that's looked at as masculine. I don't know if that's looked at as
That
what,
part.
but
Yes, sir.
there's so
not at
many
all.
different things that has to be done and taken care of where a woman cannot sit and wait for a man to do it, unfortunately. So,
Absolutely.
tapping into your feminine side and some of the things that they were talking about, it was kind of very it was confusing. So I'm glad for one
Very
that
much.
he came on and stated what he stated because he meant what he said. But I'm also glad to hear that this is not the day and age, that we live in.
No, we living in 2021. Believe
That was deep. But look,
nobody
we
believe.
got carried
I
away.
want
We
to
can
ask
go
the brother, are you?
tonight.
Because
We
I
needed
just
two. We
want to
probably
know.
needed two hours tonight because King Leo subject, they got real, on that one and
Yeah.
saying he in. But
And then what?
you know how
It's so funny, y'all. My cousin that I was talking about, Christina's on here, where her husband is a Muslim and she's a
Mhm.
Christian. She's actually chimed in just now.
She said teamwork. That's what I just saw. So
Hmm.
listen, we got two more topics that we need to get into, and once we get into these topics, we're going to we have a point. We have something else that Dr. Real is going to share with us later. But without further ado, J Money, let's go ahead and get into your topic.
So my topic today, you guys, is condoms. Why or why not? So, when me being out here in the dating world and everybody's doing the you might be doing things you ain't got no business doing, but when you do these things, is it you have to bring out the condom. I just have a quick question, and we're all adults here. I'm not understanding if a guy have sex with a woman. I mean, he's doing oral sex with this woman, but he'll say, "Oh, I don't have no condom, so we can't have sex." Isn't that the same thing? You're still
Boy,
transferring bodily fluids. If it's coming from the bottom or the top, you're still. I don't understand that. And then another thing, I have a question. One of my friends wanted to ask: when is a good time do you say when you're dating when we're gonna stop using condoms? My statement to her was when y'all both take an AIDS test, but at the same time, he should be dipping off. So what difference does it make? She's like, well, they've been dating for over 2 years, and she's over the condoms, but he's not. I said, well, have you asked these questions? Have you sat down and talked to him? Maybe he's using protection because he don't want no kids, because he don't have kids, or maybe he doesn't trust you that much just yet, even though it's been 2 years. So that's a conversation that I feel like somebody's dating need to have. But guys, I need to know, why is it okay if this is you? Not saying if it's you. If you're doing oral sex on a woman, what's the difference between you're doing oral sex and having sex with her without a condom?
there's no difference.
I just
I
need.
mean, if you down there snacking on the Cruncher Munch box, you might as well go. If you down there licking raw, you might as well go ahead and stick it raw
You
because it's
might
the
as
same
well.
situation.
It's the
Because the
same
same, you know what I'm saying?
situation.
The same, especially you got your mouth down there and she got an STD. You done swallowed it and everything. So what
You
you
don't
talking about?
that part. That part,
Well,
absolutely. What do you
your
say,
throat
King
already messed
Leo?
up.
Absolutely.
well, if I may chime in for a second, please.
Please do, King Leo. By the way, he got
Please
17
do, King
kids.
Leo.
If your first time tuning in, we know that King Leo got some good advice for us because he has 17 of them.
17
Let's
kids.
go.
I got 17 kids. Okay, I got 17 kids. Run. Okay, calling me daddy. Wrap it up.
Wrap
Wrap
it up.
it up.
So, King Leo, if you've been in a you've been dating this girl, you guys said we're gonna make it official. It's you and I, we're only together. Are you gonna say, hey, I already have enough kids, is the reason why I continue to use condoms, or you continue to use condoms because you don't trust her?
I mean,
At what
I,
point do you have that conversation saying, hey, we need to stop using condoms because I'm ready to feel what I need to feel? When do you have that? When do you have that conversation with the person?
I mean, like you said, after we make it official and we make it exclusive, me and her, we in a relationship. That's when I feel like it's time, we can take out the condom. Just make sure you're not shooting the club up, okay? Don't shoot the club up, okay?
But King Leo, if she ain't a virgin, then her coochie ain't been exclusive at all.
Exclusive at
So
all.
soul ties is real. So if you're in there smashing and you unprotected, bro, she done already have 4 or 5 partners, and her 4 or 5 partners, I may have 20 other people. You sleep with 80 people that you don't even know about. So what difference
Absolutely.
do it make if it's in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years?
Absolutely,
I
Dr. Real.
and
That's
see,
what
I'm
I
with that.
stated.
I'm with all that.
But
I'm just saying, just don't
King
shoot up the
Leo,
club, okay?
how do you
Do
shoot the
not shoot
club?
up the club. I
How do you shoot?
repeat, if do not shoot up the club.
It's just so funny that I mean when AIDS first came out, condoms was the high commodity. I was like they had it where you could probably never go in the store and buy condoms. No, no one talks about AIDS. Nobody talks about sexual transmitted disease. It's like a subject just been brushed under the table. But isn't that a subject that you should be talking about out the gate? Like, do if you're wanting to have sex without a condom, shouldn't we be having that deep conversation of let's go get tested, let's go get checked? Both of us, you bring me your papers, I bring you mine, if we're going to be exclusive. But people don't do that. They just stop using them. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
confused.
with super gonorrhea going around, and these STDs are no longer reacting to antibiotics anymore because they over prescribed them,
Hmm.
and they've changed and they've mutated. Man, y'all better start asking some questions
Let
and
me say
start
this
doing the right thing.
how we do. Y'all know that we are afraid of anything that the media or the news continue to put in our face because we see it. So
That
back in the day,
absolutely
AIDS was a hot topic because everybody was talking about it. When's the last
every
time you heard somebody die of AIDS? Not
no,
saying that
you
they
don't.
haven't, but
Well,
when
that's because
often do you hear the news like
No,
cancer? You know how when you look on there,
no,
you see cancer, diabetes, high blood
every
pressure.
day.
They always discuss these things on the news, but when's the last time you've heard someone get on here and talk about somebody died of AIDS? So they're not
Well, really,
afraid of. I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
say, really, they don't talk about AIDS anymore because they got something that can stop it, where you can just live with it, like everyday life. You can just live with it. But is that person being honest with the next person to say, I got HIV, I have AIDS? You know, do they have that conversation? Because they're not talking about it because they got medication out now that you can live with. You can live it to your rightful age and never know it. So it's like, when do you have that conversation? Because if you having sex and you using condoms, at some point you want to feel the real thing. Like, when we gonna change this up, switch it up? So how do you have that uncomfortable conversation? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, for me, I feel like you just kind of ease into it. Don't ask them right off the rip. Don't ask. That's not one of the first things you just go and ask somebody like, "Do you got AIDS?" But I would say, when you're about the third date, if we're still dating these days, you know what I'm saying? You're on the third date. I would say that'd be probably about the time.
The
Um,
third date.
but yeah, because usually about the third day, you about to smash sometimes. So I say about the third date, you should talk about, hey, I'm clean, you clean, this is the case, this is what woo the woo woo. I might shoot up the club later on. I don't know. But I just gotta let you know. We just gotta talk about that. Like my boy CJ in the comments, he said if she on birth control and we exclusive, I'm shooting like Tony Montana. And this man, this man crazy.
I
But
believe him.
but I say about the third date, and you ease into it. You ease into it. You ease into it. You say, hey, I just wanna make sure that we're clear on things, since we're taking it further and such, I just want a little bit first. You want to start off with yourself first. You don't want to just be like, hey, you want to start off with yourself first because that kind of breaks the ice. I want to let you know that I am clean. I got tested such and such, and I can show you my papers if that makes you feel more comfortable. And usually they'll lead up with, okay, I'm clean too, or I got this, or you know what I'm saying, I can show you my paper, usually now if they don't, you know what I'm saying, you'd be a little alarmed. But
Can't
if
even
that
believe
person
it.
if that
Yeah.
person's
I'm
good to
picturing
go, they
myself
wouldn't
being
mind.
fly on the wall, and I'm picturing two people having that conversation, and I
Me
just
too. I
It's
don't
a
know what
hard conversation. It's a
this
hard
is.
conversation. Just like me talking about my 17 kids. It's a hard conversation.
it
Honey,
should
do
be.
you ease that into these women that you
I
got all
ease
these
that in. Yeah,
kids?
man, I got me on here 17 kids. But, just listen.
You tell them off the rip because you don't want to shoot up the club. We got it. Hey guys, we got 9 minutes left. Man, it's been hot and juicy tonight. It's been hot and juicy, but we got some other things to get into. And if we have a little bit more time, we will definitely continue to elaborate on some of the things that we were discussing earlier backstage, King Leo. But as of now, let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. And we have Dr. Real. What you got for us, Dr. Real?
So just real quick, Catch. I'm gonna save that poem for next week, so I'm not really gonna have the time to get into like I want to. But the topic I'm talking about today is we need to have a better relationship with death. And I know some probably on the other end saying, "What you talking about, Doctor Real?" My point is this: when your mother and father had sex and the egg and the sperm connected, your time clock started right then and there. We are all on borrowed time. You're not guaranteed the next minute, second, hour, day, or whatever time increment you want to use. But we can't look at talking about death like it's not going to happen. How many of y'all have had conversations with your loved ones about what happens if you die unexpectedly? Do you have do not resuscitate documents prepared? Do you have more life insurance than just what your job provides? Have y'all had that conversation? Who's your beneficiaries? Have you looked at, there's some people I know right now, their exes are on their do not resuscitate documents. Somebody that can't stand you has authorization over how to end your life because you have not taken the time to take them off of that because we're so scared to have that conversation. It's all right to talk about dying because we're all going to do it. I know it's a morbid conversation, but if 2020 has not taught us anything, and I keep referring to this year because I feel like this was a year of teaching that some of us still in the classroom trying to cheat to find the answers, and the answers right in front of you. You need to have a plan for not only for your sake, but for your kids. Because people GoFundMe is not burial insurance. Okay, selling plates on the side of the road to make money to bury your family is not a plan. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but that's not a plan. We need to have a plan to exit this world, just like we have a plan we bring somebody into this world for the most part. You
Absolutely.
need to have a plan when you leave this world. But we're so scared to have that conversation because we act like if we talk about dying, we gonna die right then and there. That's not the
Absolutely.
case. I want to know where my remains gonna be. I already told my wife, look, if people ain't talked to me in 20 years and come to my funeral, all the acting and all the extras, kick they ass politely up out of my home going. Because I ain't got time for that. Because I'm gonna come haunt
Absolutely.
your ass on the toilet. That's how I do.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be a petty ghost. I'm gonna come holler at you. Because if you wasn't about that life with me that I was here, don't do all the
No.
extra stuff when I'm
Mm-mm.
not here. I told her how I want my ceremony to be. I want to. I don't. I know people are gonna cry because people love you and they're gonna miss you, and I understand all that. But I want people to be celebrate my life like I lived it. I'm a pretty positive, happy going person for the most part. Remember me that way. Celebrate me that way. You can be sad, I get it. There's nothing wrong with grieving, but when I leave, I want you to be happy that I'm not suffering no more and I'm not going through these world tribulations no more. Hopefully, I
Absolutely.
blessed you enough with enough memories that you won't focus on the memories that you didn't make, but you're more focused on the memories we did make. And a lot of time, that's why we don't want to talk about death, because we sit back when somebody dies, and the first thing you think about is, man, I wish I had more time. You had a bunch of damn time, but you didn't make the
Absolutely.
most of it because you was doing everything that was pleasing to you, and now that person is no longer here, and that guilt sets in. I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I lost somebody recently close to me, and I hadn't talked to that man in 10 years. That was on me. That was my fault. But there's nothing I can do about it now. But remember what he meant to me in the time that he was here. So all I'm
Absolutely.
trying to get to y'all to understand is have a plan for your demise. Don't leave your kids not only with the fact that you're gone, but how they're going to deal with the bills you left behind and financially responsible you made them now for you, and you're no longer here. So have a better relationship with people leaving, because everybody's going to pass away. Prime
Mm-hmm.
example, Cicely Tyson was 96 years old.
Mm-hmm.
96. That's a blessing.
That's a
But we
blessing.
all know there's an expiration date. We
Absolutely.
on borrowed time, people. We on borrowed time. So use your time wisely. Quit waiting around talking about tomorrow, because all you have is right now. You don't have tomorrow. You have right now.
And that's a good subject, Dr. Real, because when my husband was transitioning over to the Lord, I couldn't have that conversation with him. He knew that the doctors gave him 6 months to live. And he started, well, this is what I want at my funeral. This is how I want my funeral to go. This is who I want to speak at it. This is what I want to do. And I said, I don't want to hear that. Quit talking to me about it. So that means you're trying to die today. I had to call our pastor, and I told him, I said, that means he's checking out. He's mentally checking out. He's ready to die. He was like, no, he's not. He's not. He's just preparing you to get ready for him to go. And when I sat down and talked to my husband about it, he said, babe, I'm just trying to make it easy for you. You ain't got to wonder what I want to wear. You ain't got to wonder who I want to speak in my funeral. You ain't got to wonder how my funeral is going to go, because I'm here to tell you. But I didn't want to have that conversation because I was thinking, just like you said, Dr. Real, that means you're checking out. You want to die. Because if you're talking about death, you're going to die today, not knowing he was making it easier for me. He said, I'm not a sad person. So he said, let everybody speak all they want at the wake. But when my funeral come, I don't want them 2 minute remarks at my funeral, because I don't want nobody sitting up there crying, falling all over my casket. And my family couldn't understand that. They was mad at me for a long time because they didn't make the wake. So they thought they were going to speak at the funeral, but I didn't let them, because that's not what he wanted. He said, I don't want no sad music. So we didn't have no sad music. We had none of that. I did exactly what he said. He even picked out his own suit.
People spend
But
more time planning their birthday party versus planning how they're going to leave here.
hmm
Mhm.
absolutely. Because we scared of having that conversation. Because you thinking, if I talk about death, I'm dying tomorrow. That's what our mindset, because that's how I thought. I'm like, you want to die. So you're ready to die today. That's why you want to talk about it. Not knowing he was just making things easier for me, like you said, having a plan for your exit, because we're all going to exit out of here.
And I just poke my head in the door real quick. I just want to say that we, as an African American people, we have that bad planning. We do not plan for our deaths as much as we should. We we have people leaving other people, like Real said, with bills on bills, and stress, because we're not doing our due diligence to making sure that once we leave, that they are taken care of. I know for a fact my mother does not have a life insurance policy. My father does
Mm,
not have a life insurance policy.
mm,
But me being the man that I am, I went and got one. Yes, it's expensive. $127 a month for my mom, and another $100 for my dad, because I know that somebody finna leave some bills behind.
and that's good, because my mom
So
died and I couldn't find none of that information. I had to set up a GoFundMe for my mom because
right,
I
and,
didn't know she
And,
had insurance.
and just real quick, guys, the older you get and the more medical issues you have, the higher your premium is going to be. And you
yes,
need to
Mm,
know the difference between whole life insurance and term life insurance. It's a whole
mm,
thing. That's why you need to do the research and find out what's going on, so your loved ones are not left. And as I always give y'all a quote for the night, this is my quote for today. If you still see me as the person I used to be, I will see you as someone I used to know.
hmm.
Ooh,
That's
deep.
deep. That was good.
Ooh, y'all was
That was
preaching
good.
tonight.
That
Where y'all
was
power cups at?
good.
Because y'all definitely had something in your cups tonight because you
I
sound
had
so
water.
Hey, listen. Um, for you guys that are just tuning in, if this is your first time rocking with us, we really appreciate you joining us.
Yes.
We are here every Wednesday night between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. Don't hesitate to join in. We are also on all major platforms: Spotify, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Breaker, YouTube, Facebook, um, Twitter, Periscope, you name it, you will find us there. Matter of fact, we're on there right now. We're streaming everywhere. So continue to rock with us. We really appreciate it. It's been a great show.
Yes.
Dr. Bill, that poem that you were gonna have, please, please, please make sure that you don't forget it for next week because we definitely would love to hear it. And
Hmm.
we ain't gotta go home, but we gotta get the hell up out of here because with power, you are
What
What you?
you
Speak. Let's kill it one more time, Temptations.
y'all. We got David Ruffin and the Temptations.
I said, see
We
ya. I
still
got your book, see ya. See ya. I got my book.
Ain't nobody come
yes,
to see you, Otis.
I got your
Carlos
book.
giving me some
I'm in the
research.
middle of that thing. Thank you so much. As you can see, Jay Money got it. Everybody is getting your book. It's a great, great book. Drop your link, Seal, so people can go ahead and continue to support and get your book. But we got to get out of here, y'all. Peace out and
Peace
good night.
out. Good night.
I got you, Carlos. I'm gonna go do that research.
It's like King Leo is friends with everybody. Everybody on the live. He's friends with
Everybody.